Is that how you like to say it down south there, Connor?
We said AEZ or
well, this is AEZ because you're in our country. Here we go. Welcome to the north. We're going to start over with Tank. Introduce yourself, my brother. Where are you from?
What's going on? I'm Tank Diggs from Toronto, Dramatic Pause, Ontario, Canada.
All right. Welcome to the show. Justin.
Hello, I am Justin, and I am from the frozen tundra of St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada.
We're going to hear that a couple times. Matt, talk to me.
How you doing, guys? Matt, and I'm from Mississauga.
Oh, it's an Ontario podcast. Let's go.
All right.
Now we'll be, Zach is definitely someone we've known for a while. We go by Uri, the wrestling guy. Zach, tell me about yourself.
I'm also from Niagara. I've been watching wrestling for about 30 years. I like wearing my sunglasses at night and long walks on the beach.
Yes.
Nice.
All right. So the whole point of this is we're going to be looking at All Elite Wrestling through reviews. We're going to be dipping into the Canadian side of things. Obviously, we're going to cover the big topics of the other federations and promotions, but we're going to be really running through the reviews on All Elite Wrestling. So what did you guys think about the week in review?
I don't know about you guys. So I'm watching Blood and Guts. And I don't know. I'm starting to feel like is it me or the thumbtacks and things like that starting to get a bit overused? Like I say that where I feel like it used to come out in real special occasions, and it really had this like, oh my God, feeling where I just feel it's like, oh yeah, it's a special match. What do we need? We need tacks and we need glass. Like I'm starting to wonder if, and I'm all for great matches and guys, putting their lives on the line and just giving a great show. And I get it. I just was starting to feel, is there a certain couple of guys that are almost forcing this? That guys almost feel like they need to do this to be in a big match now, or before, it's almost like the rite of passage and everyone has to do it as opposed to having it keep, special. So I don't know if you guys ever got that sense or, maybe I'm totally wrong, but I just kind of feel it's just a bit overused. But I don't know what you guys' thoughts are.
So my big thing is I agree with you, but I thought the tacks were being used too much like 15 years ago when Abyss was doing it too much.
You're not wrong.
yeah.
So yeah, like you're right, and like you said, big matches are one thing. But yeah, that's when I thought like that was being used too much because he used to do it in almost every pay-per-view match.
Yeah, sorry guys. Go ahead.
So where I'll come with it is I agree about the thumbtacks 100%, and I've been saying that for a while. Where I'll give this one credit, though, is I thought the rating thumbtack spot was a bit original, at least. Or at least they were falling down instead of just the generic black bag. Oh my God, what's in the black bag? Oh, it's thumbtack. At least it had some difference to it.
I agree with you. I did like the effect. We're going to introduce Breezy, the man down in the corner. He's from the Great White North as well. He's out here with us in St. Catharines. Breezy, right now we're looking at if the effect of thumbtacks glass and the abundance of how they use that spot, do you feel like, Matt, that it's lost its mystique because it's so overused, or are you really just saying it just feels like they're using it as a scapegoat on a big match spot?
First of all, what's up, guys? Secondly, I don't know. I wouldn't say so much overused. It's dependent upon where it's being used. Like if it's in a main event, then okay. But if we're using it in match 2 or 3, why?
That's a good point too. I think you can actually make the entire argument even about color. And I think when Matt was mentioning certain wrestlers, I think Moxley definitely has a reputation of being a guy who just absolutely loves to cut himself open. Like,
now, I would love to have the interview open to be actually able to quote him. He had a a Sports Illustrated, I believe, interview while he was over in Japan after he did the pincushion, the porcupine with the sticks, and I know he's clean, but in this interview he was way too happy and hyper, so he ended up just going off on tandems, where he has this view that blood is meant for wrestling. You should be getting cut open. Now, if you're watching MMA, everybody's getting cut open all the time from the smallest things. Why wouldn't that happen when we're using, say, a ladder or thumbtacks? Now, I will say you can look in AEW, and it's really Moxley and mostly the top guys that are going to hit those spots. I mean, you're not seeing it like the thumbtack spot used as much in everything else except for like the bunkhouse brawls. We got that with the girls a couple times. I know those big top level girl matches definitely get over more when they use it because it's more unlikely. I don't know if it's just that stream, and we got to accept that stream because, like they said when they started, AEW is a smorgasbord. You're going to get your this, you're going to get your that, you're going to have some ECW, some lucha, and everything, but kind of feels a little all over the place when you look at the whole card, no? On a Dynamite specifically.
To answer Moxie's question or your question about like why wouldn't the blood happen all the time or the color happen all the time, it's because it is a show and precedence has been set in past. And just because you hit your head doesn't mean you're gonna burst open and start bleeding like crazy. So I think that kind of addresses that, at least to a point. Like he also has a point as well. There is stuff where you would expect, but then again, it's the whole kayfabe aspect, right? Because people get knocked out by getting punched in the face. So everybody should get knocked out every time somebody gets punched in the face while we're in the middle of a match. So he has the point, but at the same time, because we're dealing in kayfabe and so many matches in the past haven't had color, or at least to that extent, and ladder matches or other. And I think that's kind of like the guideline of where it should go. I do like everybody is saying it's like anything overused, like the super kick being overused and slapping your thigh. There are times where it works and it works well. But if you're gonna do it all the time, like was already said, then it's gonna lose its
Mystique, yeah.
100.
So I'll lead us a bit into actually looking at the show because with the blood and guts being the first thing we talked about, we definitely missed a couple really important parts, especially with what happened with the MJF Adam Cole versus Sammy and Danny G. I mean, we got to start there because that was some prime television. Anybody wants to jump?
I would love to jump in first if you guys don't mind, because I friggin' love Cole and MJF together. How you have the biggest heel in the company become the biggest face in like 3 segments is amazing. The way they played on him having that sympathetic flaw when they're playing video games. And he's like, I've never played with anybody before. So everybody automatically goes, oh, poor Max has never had a friend. And like automatically you get that. His facial reactions when they played the song, man, I had so much fun watching those two guys with each other. I hope they never fight. They need to stay a tag team forever. I want them for life.
Those guys are, it's definitely sports entertainment. They are doing a great job. Max is awesome at it. I just hope they don't kill it too early. I just hope I want to let it ride a bit, get used to it. Everyone knows. Actually, this is getting intriguing because everyone would expect Max to turn. And I almost have a feeling it's going to be the opposite, and people are going to be blown away. And we get like, wait a second, no, but Max can't be a baby face. If he's the one that gets like, because everyone's going to assume Max is going to turn because he always does that. And they're already playing where he's starting to like question, Cole's intentions. So everyone's expecting it. So I hope they don't. I hope they go to the different twist and actually do Adam Cole as the heel turn on Jeff.
If you actually go back, who hasn't Adam Cole turned on? I mean, minus the Bullet Club, they kicked him out, but he's turned on everybody in his whole career. No, Breezy?
Yeah, for the most part. Him and Roddy have had, quite a bit of wars going back and forth, and then look at him and Kyle, right? But as good as this MJF stuff is, boys, and trust me, I love it, and I'm a huge fan of both. Do you find that this is now the third time they're doing this same storyline with MJF, where is it getting a little bit repetitive? They did this with Sammy, did they not? And then they did it with Jericho. So I'm not shitting on it. It's fantastic. It's probably the best part of Dynamite every week. But you keep doing it.
Well, it's the same thing that they did with Jericho, where Jericho would keep going through like 5 people to get to a certain match.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like they find something really good that one person can do, and they keep putting that person in that box.
No, I mean, in this circumstance, I agree completely. Yes, we get choked out by it. But in wrestling, when something comes together and the chemistry and the rollout just works, you got to ride the hot hand. I mean,
but they're not going to ride the hot hand.
So you absolutely say it's going to be a quick oops, and then we're walking away.
Well, I mean, they're probably going to face each other at All Out.
Yeah, they have 2 pay-per-views in a month.
Yeah.
So
I mean, one of them is going to have MJF versus Adam Cole.
No, I just want Adam Cole and MJF versus Bishamon. Let's go. Book it.
I want Adam Cole to take the title off from boys, but like, come on, they're the #1 merch right now too, right? On AEW Shop, and they just rolled out their second shirt. So I mean,
huge money off that shirt.
Exactly. So TK likes money. So I don't know.
I compare that shirt to when Jericho and AJ were a tag team for 2 weeks and they had a shirt.
What was that? The #1 shirt, Uri? I don't believe it was.
One person bought that shirt. Now MJF, I want to say, like, MJF is the best sports entertainer in AEW, and he's the second best sports entertainer in the world. So just leave it at that. MJF's the best.
And this comes from the guy who got slapped in the ass by the man.
Wait, who did?
That was a great day.
He was at a indie show out here. I believe it was A1. It was Ethan Page's promotion. Yeah.
No, it was Smash.
It was Smash. Give the story, Justin.
Well, I mean, so like we really wanted to meet him. Well, I think it was more Breezy wanted to meet him than anyone. And he didn't.
Yeah, I was pretty determined to meet him at that point.
I had already met him at
A1 ago, right?
So we asked the security to go get him, and the security came back and said something like, Maxwell Jacob Freeman will only come out if you pay him $20. So we're like, okay, we have $20. We go to him.
He wanted $20 American. We only had Canadian money.
So then we finally ended up having money. So he came out and he had 2 rules. It was 1, don't look at him, and 2, don't touch him. And then I automatically looked at him. He said, "Hey, don't ruin. You're already looking at me. I'm gonna leave."
Drummond, you almost killed the whole thing.
I don't look, and it's the most awkward photo ever. Almost the whole thing, and then we take the picture, and then he leaves and he smacks me on the ass. He says, "Nice meeting you guys."
Now, they're cutting here. I met MJF one time. It was this year. I got one figure signed, and the one figure I got signed was a Chase figure, 1 out of 1,000. I didn't say a word to him because I seen what he does to other people. He tears their figures up and stuff. I didn't say a word. Which he just looks at me for a minute, like, yeah, he knows I know what he does. But after I went, there was this baby crying. I don't know if you guys seen that video of the baby crying, and he just goes on and on and on. Like, that was the event that I was at. He made that baby cry even more. But there's nothing MJF won't do.
So as we all agree that dance-off had a place, right?
Yes.
Matt, you agree the dance was fun?
Oh, yeah.
It was very amazing.
I think it's more to be.
Hot Rod? Sorry, has anyone ever watched the movie Hot Rod?
Oh, of course.
Was Adam Cole referencing?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure everybody got that because some of my friends, they'd never seen Hot Rod, and I was asking them, and they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. So I'm not alone. That was a reference
Yeah,
that we have to
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen
Yeah.
that.
Put it on the list. So everything in that was awesome. I'll just give my recap on it. I have an 11-year-old daughter who did a little bit of training. She's raised in wrestling just like the rest of the kids. Then I have a 7-year-old boy. Now, they both could not leave. They walked by and then they glued themselves. From the start to finish of that, they could not walk away. I was like, I looked around the room and I'm like, I don't care what any podcaster or any reviewer says. That was entertainment. But I'll roll this right over because we're running backwards. So let's check out the Hook and Jungle Boy.
Hey, it's Jack Perry to you, sir.
Corey,
What are we doing?
let's go.
He
What did you?
killed Jungle Boy.
He murdered him in the desert. What'd you guys think?
I like
Is,
the whole thing.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I think it was time. And yeah, I didn't have a complaint about him killing Jungle Boy or the match or anything. I enjoyed the whole thing.
We have mixed.
The only thing I really wanted is I really wanted Christian to be the one driving the limo, and Christian opens the door and he gets in the limo with Christian.
Damn it, Drummond! I thought you were going to say you really wanted the
right
90210.
Well, I mean, he has the songs of Bugs Bunny, right? He already has the Bugs Bunny song. What more do you need?
I mean, from a Canadian standpoint, it would have been really cool if Jason Priestley came out of the limo.
I am hearing.
Let's go.
I'm not sold on his entrance theme. Maybe it'll grow. I liked how he came out with confidence, but then what I didn't like is when he was up on the ropes, when he was coming in, he was kind of looking disgruntled to the crowd. Like he couldn't believe they were booing him. I think he should have been kept that confidence, because he's supposed to be confident. It's a change, and he's supposed to be. But he was reacting too much to the crowd and getting irritated. I didn't like that. I thought he had to almost be like, no, I don't need
Cool,
any
calm,
guys. It doesn't
collected,
matter to me.
correct. Yeah.
Right.
So, guys, I'll be honest, man. Like halfway through the Blood and Guts match, I thought there was only 2 matches on the night. I thought Cole and Fig went an hour, and I thought Blood and Guts went an hour. Completely forgot about that match altogether.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I personally think Jack Perry is a friggin' charisma vacuum. I don't think that guy has it's so weird that his father was such a good actor, and he has zero charisma altogether. Even like the dark glass, the dark aviators, and the way he had his hair is like what someone in grade 8 thinks who someone bad should look like is what he's presenting himself as.
Yeah.
In my eyes, in my opinion. I also completely agree about the entrance music. I don't know why everybody is now trying to use what's the word I'm looking for?
Beethoven music.
So the thing about that is you got to realize big songs that have a certain age have no trademark value.
Yeah,
so they don't
over
have to
100
pay
years.
for it. So I mean, for the amount of money he probably paid for the one, now he's getting it free. And when Bryan Danielson first came out with Flight of the Conchords, I think it's called, we were all
Flight of the Valkyries. Flight of the Conchords was a hilarious sketch television.
Yeah. I'm gonna watch both now.
Oh boy.
I think it will grow on us. I'm all right with it. I do want to defend Jungle Boy, and I want to defend Jack Perry. I think it's too soon to even shit on the charisma yet. I think he needs to find his way. I mean, we see this with time and time again with Starks. I mean, he's got so much charisma. Why can't he use it? And then all of a sudden he drops a banging promo. Then the next week we're back to him just, I don't know. I'd like to believe that we'll get to him, but I'd like to believe that's the same thing. We're just waiting for the charisma to make sense.
I'm cool with him. He's got to decide whether he wants to be confident or disgruntled with the fans. I'd prefer him be disgruntled with the fans because there's not too many heels that do that anymore. Like MJF doesn't do that. When Adam Cole's a heel, he doesn't do that. Ricky Starks didn't do that.
You're right.
They were more, well, I'm cocky and my shit don't stink.
Can we compare to Christian's level though?
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, but Christian's Christian's been there before, right?
Oh yeah, and I think
He's
everything
played both
doing is
spectrums.
because of
He's
Christian.
played the I hate you, and he's played the, you know, when he started the whole "you're my peeps" thing, he was a heel, right?
Mm.
So he's played both sides of the spectrum. But I would prefer Jungle Boy to be more disgruntled with the fans because, like I said, there's not a lot of heels that do that anymore. It's more I want to be a cool heel and not a I want to get heat heel.
I agree. I would like the prick to come out of him and see exactly what he has. I'm gonna bust your balls on this one, Urai. The best title in AEW, the FTW. What do you think?
Nope.
Like I don't like I look at it like the $1 Million Championship.
Yeah.
So when so it made sense when a guy in Team Taz had it. It made sense when they split up and Hook had it. It don't make sense that Jack Perry has it.
What if he's the one to make it legit?
I was going to say that. Yeah, how much of a dick would that make him to everybody, especially Taz and Hook, if he gets his belt sanctioned and now he's defending it in front of their faces every week, right?
Right.
Ooh.
And then start bringing out your smoking ass hot girlfriend. That'll make everybody hate him more.
That's what I'm waiting for.
But then he brings out a smoking hot girlfriend and everyone starts cheering for him again.
Not with that music though, and that's the thing. Going back to the music, I hated the music, but then I'm like, okay, I don't want him to come out with like "Welcome to the Jungle," and I'm like, oh shit, now I'm cheering for this guy who I'm supposed to hate. So he got me because I'm like, oh, this music is trash. But now I want to see him get his ass kicked even more instead of me like, all right, I kind of dig what he's walking out to. You know what I mean? So he's doing his job there. I hate that I hated the music.
Right, and you're supposed to hate the music, right?
That's absolutely right.
Welcome to the Jungle an option?
Yeah.
It should be. That's what I'm saying, bro.
So about the FTW belt real fast, like the original intention behind it, I know we like personally, we don't know each other, so I don't know like what everybody knows and how far back everything goes, blah, blah, blah. That is like was supposed to be the original intention of it. Is it's an interim heavyweight championship. It was never supposed to be a long-term thing. I can't remember who the champ was at the time in ECW, but he was off TV for X amount of months. So Taz claimed himself. He's like, I am the champion.
I believe
We all know what
Douglas.
FTW stands for, right?
Shane Douglas, the franchise.
There we go.
What does it stand for?
Fuck the world. It's sorry to drop the first F-bomb on the AEZ. As I'm feeling it was going to be me, to be completely honest.
I had my money on Breezy.
I thought we were keeping the F-bombs out of there because, I kind of have to, table that shit while I'm working all day. Yeah. And then I was like told that I can't be dropping them on this. So,
we had a little combo before we started. I mean, we can always beep it out if people have problems with it, but that, as far as getting back to the thing, F the world championship, it's supposed to be like, screw you, world. You're not the world champion. I am. That's what this is. The way they're using it, I think they're misusing the actual title, especially having on TV, and then the conversation about how many belts do you actually need on television. Now Punk is like teasing bringing another championship on for Collision. Like this is starting to get out of hand.
What's in the bag, boys? What's in the bag?
I will say, speaking on Jungle Boy, Andy, I'll go with Jungle Boy first. We're talking about that. Here's a Christian for a little bit. Christian's one of the best talkers to learn from. He's played a good heel. He's played a good face. If you want to learn how to be a heel, Christian's a pretty good person to learn from. I'm sure he's still under his wing. Getting he's still very young. I believe he's still in his 20s, 26, 27 probably. He's got years ahead of him. I think with time, he's gonna get that rub off of Jericho, Christian Cage. He's gonna get that rub off of Christian. In the FTW championship, I remember Taz saying that he never wants it to be an official title, because that's what the roots of the title was. It was never a concrete, like, exclusive to one brand, because it's as
interim,
as someone said,
They should move it to Ring of Honor for a champion. If that's the case, just to kind of prove that it just moves around. And if he owns it, why not throw it on ROI or ROW?
I think Ring of Honor's got too many titles too.
Yeah, don't get Uri started on the too many titles. And
Yeah.
slash
There goes an hour.
We can have just an episode on
How much time do we have?
Here, hold on. Check this out. I'm going to do it. We're going to move to a match and see how fast we can get through it. Britt Baker, Kayla Sparks. All right, we're done there. Let's move on.
They should have just not done a women's match, period. They should have
That's
done,
what
or
I
at least
said.
done a promo afterwards. It made no sense to
I
throw
think
it
what
in
they
there.
should have done is not have a women's match at all, at least a promo, and then have 2 women's matches on Rampage to make up.
Yeah, we got to get to Rampage, and that
Exactly.
was a show too. But let's go into the blood and guts. I want everybody to give me something that was their favorite spot off that. We'll start with Zach.
I dug the thumbtacks thing because Drummond said earlier it was different. So I believe it was Drummond that said it was different.
Yes.
So I dug that. I liked the bed of nails because that's not something you see all the time.
All right, I said
yeah,
one. Stop taking them all. Breezy.
Okay, so the one thing that I liked is what a lot of people didn't like, and you guys tell me if you agree or not. Was Moxley doing this to like say basically fuck you to all the marks that are always chirping him every week about bleeding too much? Where's the logic in when he entered the ring? Do you remember what he pulled out of his vest or his jacket, boys? Right. What happens when you stab somebody in the fucking face with a fork?
Yeah,
that would be a question for Abdullah the Butcher.
Yes,
exactly. And coincidentally enough, that Dark Side of the Ring had just aired previously too, but that's a whole other thing. So yeah, he stabs Hangman and Kenny both with the fork, right, boys?
Yeah.
Yep.
Did any of them bleed?
No.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. So logically, it made no sense. But I feel like it might have been hey, Marks, hey, IWC, shut up.
Yes.
So I kind of like that.
All right, I like that. Matt, what do you got from that match?
Probably the big surprise for me was when I didn't think Kenny was going to be getting into the corner on that bed of nails. That surprised me that he did it twice and he kept on it. I thought with a spot like that, maybe it's going to be Moxley. Fine, you bring it out. It's your thing. You're going to get the reversal into it, but he didn't do the reversal. And that was pretty impressive. So that took I'm sure some skill to keep his body over top of it and keep it weight distributed to making sure it didn't go through too badly. But that was pretty surprising.
Thanks.
Sorry, was that me?
Yeah, on
Okay,
you.
cool.
What do you think
Sorry,
of
bro.
blood and guts? What's your spot?
My spot was Pac swinging off the top of the cage onto the double stomp. That was nuts. I've never seen that personally. I've never seen anybody pull that off. Like, especially there's not many cages that have roofs. There's only a couple here and there. So yeah, that definitely stood out. And this is gonna be, I don't know if this is definitely not a spot, but the fact that I don't think like Coda did very much, and I think everybody was waiting for him to like be some kind of major player in the match, and he really wasn't outside of the intro.
Okay, before I hit Justin on his, I'm going to follow that because my favorite thing in that match was from Coda, but it went pitcher in pitcher.
Oh, I thought you were going to say when it was off the air, when he put himself in the tax.
No, it was Konosuke and him lined up, and they went to commercial, and it went pitcher in pitcher, and I was glued to the screen at the two of them going back and forth. I'm going to follow it up because I'm a huge Coda guy. I do love the guy. I've been begging for him to come because I need a Golden Lovers one last run. I want to see FTR with them. I want to see the guys with them. So I've been begging for it. But he came in looking a little different, a little heavier. I saw it in the way he was moving. I'm wondering if he does have some serious back injuries that are slowing him down a bit. But once him and Konosuke started going, and you could see the chops and the kicks and the pads just flying, I really wanted more of that. That was one of my favorite parts of the whole match.
Don't
Justin.
bash Stick Coda, bro.
Stick Coda.
So-
Stick Coda. Hashtag.
So mine also involves Coda, and when Coda's entrance is happening, he's walking to the ring like he's Undertaker in Saudi Arabia, and Moxley has had Kenny's hand on the bed of nails, and he has his foot on it. Well, Coda takes 5 years to get to the ring. I really like that.
Remind me of Jeff Hardy running
Yeah.
to save Matt that day, and he was dancing down while his brother's getting his arse.
He really took in the moment, didn't he?
Yeah.
Good old Ibushi.
All right, so that was our Dynamite review. Is there any other spots anybody missed out of that show that they really want to focus on?
One of the ones I liked.
Yeah, Connor, sorry, I totally missed the boss. Let's go.
Well, it would have been special, but someone mentioned it that when Pac was he swung on the thing, would have been cool if he would have done his finisher like that. He would have done a flip. He would have flipped and then went on to the table. That would have been really, really cool if he would have done that. Because Pac's a very flexible person.
I think Vikingo can do it at his age. I don't really want Pac to do that because he'll be in UK for the next 6 months.
Yeah, and then I don't know if you want to call it this, but when Nakeshita was coming out, he was running out. Then a fan actually tripped him. Don't know that. Like, did you guys see him fall down?
No.
He was running, then he fell down, and a fan tripped him. But yeah, at the first of the match, I like how Kenny and Claudio started the match. Like, that's a dream match, essentially. I hope they do that one-on-one in the future.
All right.
Are we sure a fan tripped him and he just didn't pull a Titus O'Neil?
Yes.
I just want to make sure.
Like when we were doing the live reaction, that was exactly someone's comment. Like, did he actually just fall on his own, or did someone trip him? But apparently, I think I ejected around that time, so I don't know. But it was pretty funny when we seen it. It was kind of funny. I like Nikesh, but it was funny.
All right, so we'll move over to Rampage to really knock that one off quick, as it is only an hour. I don't expect everybody to jump on the train to watch, as it hasn't really been anything more than the extra matches that they didn't give us on Dynamite. However, there's been a couple weeks in the last month or two that it's been must-see. I felt that this was a must-see with this Royal Rampage. There was some shit that went down, and I felt like it was a perfect place. Rampage has the storyboard for everybody to go off, and I think we had a good maybe month and a half of TV to break down within that match, because we saw some people working together. We saw some people teaming up that don't normally team up, and it made you think, I'd watch that. So let's see if anybody has any thoughts on the Royal Rampage match.
I mean, I think in terms of people teaming together, I think those are your typical Battle Royal / Rumble spots where heels always team up to take out a baby face or vice versa. I think the only thing that I was like, okay, was because Big Bill and Cage were like part of that blind tag tournament. And then when Swerve eliminated Big Bill, Cage got mad at him. But other than that, I didn't like, everything was normal. Well, I'm a heel. We're all heels, so let's beat up this person, which is normal in a battle royal.
Except for the confusion with Menard and Parker fighting with the two big beasts. There, who knew?
Yeah, I mean, when Menard first came in, he acted like he was going to hit them, and then he went right to Darby, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it wasn't, and it wasn't really anything that I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be something, because it's probably not.
Drummond, did you catch Rampage?
I was watching Ring of Honor, I think. I don't even remember. No, I definitely didn't watch Rampage.
Oh, Murder Grandpa. Let's talk about
Drummond's
Suzuki.
favorite spot. Drummond's favorite spot would have been Suzuki and Butcher going at it.
Yeah.
I was waiting for Uri to mention how much he loved the Nitro and Thunder rings, Red ring and blue ring.
Yeah. There was
I was so confused by that.
Exactly. I was waiting for you to fucking destroy that one.
No, I was really, the fact that they had never done that before and they decided to do it this year for some reason, I was like, oh, okay. But I didn't really pay too much attention to it. But I definitely did get Nitro and Thunder vibes from the ropes. Yes.
Yeah, same.
I after a while, once I figured out it was 2 matches, winner will take winner, and I was a little all over the place because I'm like, well, there's Nick, there's Darby, get together, team up, do some fun stuff. But they're in separate rings. But then they gave us that anyway. But I felt like there was a lot of highlighting. I really liked, I talked to Uri about this earlier, I really like Seidel and Commander working together. I think that might be a great relationship to work through Ring of Honor, get them as a tag, get them over, get them learning TV. I mean, Matt Seidel's known TV for a couple years, so that tandem really got me excited.
I want to say one thing about when AEW does these blood and guts shows. If I bought a ticket and I sat on the, where the announcers sit for Collision, I sat on that side, I would hate it, because they only, other than the 2 matches they normally do where they use the 2 rings, they only use the 1 ring.
Mm-hmm.
The fans were
If you
pissed.
remember,
The fans were
Pardon?
pissed.
right,
They
if you
kept
remember,
chanting, "Use this ring." Right? You heard
Yeah,
it.
so
It was definitive.
right, if you remember when WCW did Fall Brawl, they would rotate between they would alternate between the 2 rings.
It was also the way they had the hard cam set up. AEW didn't do it the way that WCW would, and I think that's why the majority of the matches were in the red ring.
But it's like that every year.
Yeah, I agree. It's
So
something they should look into fixing, because of the live
Exactly.
live audience on that other half of the arena, they were not impressed.
No. And one thing too, and one thing I did really like that Nick Wayne did is he did go from one ring to another, and a lot of those smaller guys, I don't know why they don't incorporate that into their match, because I remember being a kid watching those Fall Brawls, and you get the cruiserweights going, and they would flip-flop between the 2 rings, and they always came up with a cool spot. And those guys just aren't using that to their advantage to make a cool spot, because right now, other than the one time a year WWE does it when they hadn't been doing it for years, they're really the only promotion doing a 2-ring thing.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
over time, I think AEW has been like this for the last 3 years. We're always seeing the small changes. I mean, we just got the rule changes and approvals. So, I mean, we're always going to see things change. Let's hope that that's for the better. I mean, Uri, it wasn't too long ago, we sat behind a crane and we're screaming, move that crane. What was that,
Right.
NXT Toronto?
Yeah, right, and I get that, but that's different. If
Yeah,
you're if there's 2 rings, use both rings.
Yeah.
Don't cheat fan. Like, we bought those tickets knowing the crane was going to be there. They don't buy those tickets knowing, okay, that second ring probably won't be used. I think that there's a big difference there.
Yeah.
I think it would be good to rotate toward like 1 match is in 1 ring, 1 match is in another ring, 1 match is,
I think that would work. All right, let's send out a tweet. After that, it
They're
was
not called
pretty
tweets
much,
anymore.
after that match, it felt like a regular Rampage. We got QTV versus the Acclaimed. I'm sorry, I might be the only one, but I want Harley on the TV all the time, and it's not because she's a good-looking girl. There's plenty of good-looking girls. There's something there, and they haven't even untapped it.
I didn't notice this, but the inspiration was an Impact, and they had the woman that was singing their theme song is Harley Cameron. I did not know that was the same person, because she looks totally different from what she did in Impact, which kind of explains the singing part that she does in AEW.
Well, she's actually she started as a singer. She came out to California. Listen to the Talk is Jericho. All right, moving on from that, because I don't want to talk about the Acclaimed yet. Then we go into Chris Statlander and Marina Shafir as a main event. Now we see why most people didn't tune into Rampage.
Yeah, it was a match.
I mean, minus that first piece, but now we're going to the fun one. I would like to start before we touch on Collision, because I'm noticing it. Uri mentioned it earlier. I have another friend who's strictly watching Collision live and picking and choosing Dynamite at this point. Where is everybody? Because I'm watching both. I'm a diehard. I'm AEW fully, so I've got to watch everything they put out. I was even watching Stupid Ass Darks. So, what do you guys think? Matt, I haven't heard from you in a bit. What do you think of the difference now that we've got a couple episodes out? Where are we?
It's good. I like that they're really trying to make it its own brand. It kind of reminds me of the Raw and SmackDown, trying to have that feel where Rampage is kind of in the middle, like a Sunday Night Heat almost.
Yeah.
But I do
true.
like that. I do like how guys are trying to stick with a brand, so you tune in specifically instead of just like, I don't know, I'll check them. Maybe they'll be on 1 to 3 shows. So I think they're really helping the ratings and trying to create a feeling and a vibe, and a little bit of exclusivity. I know like the House of Black is doing that, and they said we were only going to be on Collision. So I do like appreciate that the guys see the benefit of making people tune in for their show specifically. So I think that's a good thing.
All right, perfect. So we'll start off with the opening segment, Action Andrade and Darius Martin versus BC Gold. Let's go, Tank. Talk to me about it.
So the first thing that I want to bring up is honestly, man, I am absolutely loving the Bang Bang Gang.
Yes, sir.
Guns up.
Guns up, baby.
I didn't really I always knew White was good. I remember him from ROH when he was on excursion over here. And I remember him going back and becoming Bullet Club leader and all that stuff. But I never really followed New Japan like intently, so I never really watched his matches or saw him on a weekly basis. So yeah, he totally turned me into a mark. I'm all on board for Jay White to give that guy whatever the hell he wants. Let's go. And I kind of feel bad for what's Darius Martin's brother's name?
Dante.
See, that's the entire reason why I feel bad for this guy. He was the older one. They're the same skill level. He's just as athletic, all that stuff. But because of injuries, he's almost like forgotten about. And it's like now they're trying to team him up with like Seidel in the past. Now Andretti to try and find something that'll click so they can keep his brother. So
I actually think you might have it confused because Dante was actually healthy for a very long time while Darius was out. He was doing the tag, so
I'm
it almost
totally backwards there. You're right.
brother is flipping.
It's kind of
That's exactly the point, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
That you don't even notice the difference in the two of them because they are very similar in the way they work. Now, Action Andrade was with them as a threesome with ROH here and there, just touching, but I agree completely.
AR Fox too.
AR Fox too. Yeah.
Loves me some AR Fox too. I'm
Yeah.
such a huge mark for everybody.
Yeah,
Now,
no, at one point,
I would love to follow on Tank exactly like you said. I've been dirtbagging Jay White for a long time. Down there, Breezy has absolutely been there since the beginning on this guy, and he's been saying it's this guy. He has his guys, so we'll talk about them. I'm not letting him talk about them. But I am in, just like you said. I am fully invested in what he does. I don't know if it was FTR, if it's because he's got his platform. Something's working, and I think Juice is feeding off that because I'm rock hard. Like, this guy is brilliant. Every time he touches a mic, when he went in on CM Punk, why do you want me to put me to sleep? I had my 8 hours. That whole thing.
Yeah.
He's good. He's entertaining. He's good.
He just has to scream somebody's name. That's it.
Yes.
Ricky!
Yes. It was a good match. I think it played well to the pacing of the show. I like that they started with it. I'll go over to Justin to talk about Nick Camarado versus Miro.
Oh yeah, I guess that happened. I like Miro. I don't remember that. I'm just all ready to go off on a rant about Phil at some point. So I'm gonna have to talk about Phil.
Does anybody else want to touch on Miro?
I'll do it.
I mean, it was a squash match.
Yeah.
Camarado came out with him from behind. Miro got his stuff in. Camarado did do the one spot there, but he fell when he did it. But whatever. I always liked when they were ending the factory thing. I kind of liked Camarado because he started doing his own thing, and I feel like they should have let him do that in Ring of Honor. And now he's just kind of there, and he's not doing anything to stand out anymore.
Yeah, I like Samir's has been doing. First week he was on Collision. He went against Tony Nese. He went against another week. He went. Who was his name? Anthony Henry.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they're giving some of these guys TV time because Nick Camarada, Bruiser Brody, not comparisons. He's got the old school feel. I think with a little bit of polish, a little bit of work, he could be a big time guy in AEW. Maybe someone like Arn Anderson. I feel like would work good in that department with Nick Camarado because they got a lot of similarities. Especially with a lot of
I really can't play on that. I feel Nick Camarado is part of a huge group of wrestlers that they brought in to see what they could get out of. I think we've got the peak of him. I don't see him getting much more. I mean, how much time does he have to get on? Like, how many shows did he do through Dark? And still, there's opportunities.
A lot of the Dark, I will say, like Dark wrestling for YouTube and TV is two different promotions. You could say he hasn't really gotten. Well, his match against Dustin Rhodes was a pretty good one. What was that? The Texas blow-up match.
Yeah.
He's got the old school feel. I think he works perfect for Collision because of Collision is a more developing wrestler, as you'd say. I don't know. Seems here lately going on a spring cleaning in AEW. So
this is, I think, it's someone like him. If this was the mid '80s, they would have put him like with a Jimmy Hart or a Bobby Heenan, or someone who's a great mouthpiece. Because he's kind of like that Hercules. Big. If they just made him, he could squash guys. If they really wanted to make him a beast, they can give him a mouthpiece. Even like a Christian, someone that he needs that, and it's not TK. Michelle, I'm kind of over him. I think he needs to get with someone. So I don't know. I think they started bringing some good managers back to help some of these guys, and he would be a prime example for me, anyways.
All right, so we're gonna move on.
Can I just say one thing about that that I liked, and this goes into why I like Collision so much, Does?
Yeah.
So even though going into that match, we can all, because you guys used the verbiage as well, it was a squash match. Yes, we knew Miro was going over.
Yeah, obvious.
Though the thing I like about this, and this is why Collision is different than everything else, how did that squash match start?
Yeah,
started with Miro being ambushed, right? So that goes into the whole thing of Collision being different, doing its own thing. I like the old school feel. I like the lighting of it. It's very like Nitro and Raw late 90s-esque. Compared to Dynamite, it's like the lighting. Do you boys notice the difference? The Dynamite lighting is way more flashy, way more modern wrestling. Collision is going back to like tugging on my heartstrings with the whole Attitude Era and Nitro Monday Night Wars type of feel to that.
I'd like to tug on those heartstrings as hard as I can with this next segment. House of Black versus the Acclaimed. Now, obviously, we know what to expect from Malachi. But my God, every time Buddy even is on a camera, he's the only one in the group I can watch. And it goes right to the rap. He didn't even give him a chance to make a comment about Rhea Ripley. And you knew there was
Dirty Dom. He wasn't going to let him say shit about Dom.
Not a chance did he get his mouth open. That's how it starts.
I've been a Buddy fan since day one.
Yeah.
I think Breezy can attest to me saying that.
100%.
Even when he was with Blake, and I didn't like Blake, but I really loved Buddy Murphy. Or Buddy Matthews, or whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
Especially when he went to the Cruiserweight show and then he went to SmackDown. I think WWE missed the boat on him. I think they tried, but I don't think they tried hard enough. And I hope that this trios thing isn't him being pigeonholed, because I think he can do a lot on his own.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want Malachi versus Buddy in a absolute banger of a main event type match in the future. We know what he does and how extreme he is. So, I mean, we could really see a good match with him go face. He'd be a badass face, but we don't know what he's like on the mic because we don't really get to hear him as much.
Yeah.
I could see.
We- I was going to say with Buddy. I mean, you could see he does have good potential. If you guys remember, kind of like I think what you guys kind of mentioned it in the cruiserweight when they had that pay-per-view in Australia, and the whole crowd was so behind him, and it was probably like, there you go, give the guy a chance, and people love him. I think he's one of the best. I think he's an amazing wrestler. He's incredible, and he's got, to me, probably one of the best physiques of all time.
Yes.
He's built like a tank. He can move.
Yes.
And I think he's amazing. So, and it proved that when he was in the cruiserweight. And I totally agree that they missed a boat on him, and they should have kept him. And they would have probably thrown him in Judgment Day if he was there today.
I mean,
It wouldn't be a bad look.
in a day and age where everyone kind of looks generic and they're 175 pounds, he stands out to me.
Yes.
Because of his physique and his hair and his gear and everything.
And then he can actually go.
And he can actually go.
205 Live, like you said, Matt. Like those matches, the bangers he put on with Ali back in the day. And I remember being at some of those shows. The fans, because nobody gave a shit about 205 Live, but those matches were so good, people were actually chanting 205. Remember that? And that's definitely a testament to how good Buddy actually is. He just needs that next opportunity.
Yep.
And I do feel like with Malachi having a say on creative, I really would like to see where this goes. I mean, we don't have a clue yet because there's no division in those ranks. It's a well-oiled machine. And with his physique, it's pretty crazy to think him standing next to Brody and Malachi, who are both very intimidating sizes, he still doesn't look like the small guy in the group.
Put him. I think a match with him and Pac would be awesome.
Yeah.
Give me that in a tag team.
Give me that. Hey, Doug, give me that.
I want more of that.
Give me
that.
I think on Collision at some point, when House of Black loses the trios championships, I could see the Black. What do they call it, Malachi and Brody? The
Kings of the Black Throne.
Yeah, I could see
like
them
that.
being tag champions and Buddy going after the international and them actually holding the titles, because I think Buddy Matthews is going to win singles gold eventually, and the international championship seems like that would fit him.
I like it.
I mean, you could do TNT, but
I like it better as international. I think I like that title more.
because
him and Orange would put on a banger.
Yeah.
I like when Pac went to Ireland. He went a little across
Excursion.
everywhere. Orange Cassidy did too. He went to New Japan and did something there. Seeing Buddy Matthews going over, like, that's what I like about the international championship, is you can defend it anywhere. Yeah, I liked House of Black, and I hope Buddy gets some more opportunities just besides trios.
I think it's coming. Now we talked that long about this match. Let's get the Kleenex boxes out. Oh my God. When he took the pin and Malachi climbs over him and he's talking to him, I'm like, what the hell are they doing? And then Buddy goes and gives him some love. I'm like, that ain't a gimmick.
Something's going on.
Serious shit.
Mhm.
And then he starts touching his boots. I'm sitting next to my wife, boys. I'm a man. I have 5 children. I do a badass job. But the tears were flowing. I haven't felt like that since Mark Henry got me.
Wow, salmon jacket reference.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are we talking about Billy Gunn?
Daddy ass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The tears were flowing. How do you feel about it, Uri?
I don't think he's done.
You think it's a work?
Yeah, because when he got out of the ring and Bowens tried to hug him, he shrugged him off.
Yeah, I think it's because he didn't want to cry in front of the crowd, no?
And but I mean, he was already crying.
I think they could.
He was crying when he took the boots off because you could see it in his face. He was crying.
Like, if it is a work, I could see them doing like the Acclaim convincing him to stick around, and Billy Gunn's like, all right, if I lose one more match, I'm out.
No, I think
do
he did
that.
that on purpose. I think it's the same thing Jericho said when he got fired that one show when he was leaving and they carried him out. He said he didn't want it to end another way.
Right,
So,
but Jericho also came back 2 years
oh
later.
yeah,
So I mean,
but I mean, there's a difference in age. I mean, Billy Gunn at this point, I
Right, he's
know
60.
what he does backstage,
Yeah.
and he is a vital part of AEW's backstage. So I don't think he goes anywhere because he's been there since the start. He was part of the Cody team with QT. I think taking him off camera might be okay at
Oh,
this point.
yeah, he's 60 years old. He doesn't need to be.
Is he 60?
Yeah.
Are you trying to say that he's a little bit weathered, Urag?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I also
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with him not being on TV.
I also want to point out that I was in attendance for the Mark Henry segment.
Oh, were you crying?
I was you know how the person who yelled sexual chocolate? That was me.
Jesus.
So the guy who actually almost got me, believe it or not, was Christopher Daniels on Being the Elite. Did anybody see that or remember it?
Yeah.
He started to
Absolutely.
like revert back to like childlike state kind of. And he was like sitting on the floor with his head in his hands. He was like, "Mommy, I don't want to go home. I just want to stay with my friends." And I was like, Jesus Christ, am I about to cry? I'm a 40-year-old
No, he
man.
had me.
The only one that got me, that I can remember off the top of my head was Edge.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That one got me.
that was hard. Oh, yeah.
I'm a pussy, so I mean, I cry at everything. That was one that had me blubbering.
I'm actually the same. I have actually put in a rule against myself where I'm no longer allowed to watch the last episode of any sitcom because it doesn't even matter. I will find myself crying at some point.
All right. So Urai thinks he's not done. I don't know what they're going to do with it. I hope they don't taint it. It felt cool. They were
Yeah.
at Collision. I think if it was really a send-off, I think his kids could have come out at the curtain and just put the guns up and turned their back and walked away type thing. It wouldn't
Yeah.
have broke, especially
I mean-
when Malachi broke.
I'm cool with him being done. Like, don't get me wrong. I just, the way that they played it on TV, I don't think he's done.
Don't you think it makes more sense to have it finish at like Wembley Stadium, like a big part of the big show with the?
That's up to him. I don't know if he wants to be in a spotlight at his age. Like the way he's been pushing other people, and I mean he can go still, but I don't know if he's really wanting to. I think he wants this other aspect of life,
Does
and that's
he need
just
it?
from listening to him on podcasts and his responses.
I mean, does he need Wembley?
No,
Well,
Like,
it's just
and
just
and
part of the
that's kind
show,
of-
though.
Pardon?
Like just because it's part of like the trio that I think going over that's part of the entertainment, and the fans over there haven't seen that live in a while, and just on that stage and have that as the because they're very entertaining, and I guarantee like with him in there, the crowd goes nuts. Especially, I think it'd be a big part of the show there.
He could technically still make an appearance. Doesn't
Yeah.
mean he's got to wrestle, right?
pop out.
You know, I
True.
mean, there are a lot of guys that still make appearances that don't wrestle anymore.
True.
So I mean, if he's not, let's say he really is done, he's not on TV for a month, and then they come out and he comes out with them, then yeah, that'll definitely get a loud pop. But I don't, you know, like Dustin, it doesn't need to be on TV. I just, the way that they played off, I personally don't think he's done, but I'm fine with it either way.
We'll slide into the women's match. We got Sky Blue versus La Huera Loca. I mean, we all watched it for one reason. The girls got a butt.
Yep.
Just ask Kyle Fletcher and not
Right?
Dante Martin.
Good for him.
Jesus.
Challenge Britt. That's going to happen. It'll be a good match. I think they both can go. I really only think Britt does well in matches when there's actual story to it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at her biggest matches, there's background to it. So,
Yeah.
we'll see.
I still think Sky's a little green. She should be Sky Green, let's be honest. I don't think she's there yet.
Wait, she
But-
wrestles?
No.
Yeah. No, I don't think she's a great wrestler at all. I don't think she's a good wrestler, no. I think she looks very clunky. I don't think she's good. She's pretty.
Who?
Sky
Who's
Blue.
Sky Blue? You don't think?
Yeah. Yeah, she hasn't been. She needs some more time. She needs some more time invested in her, and she'll be fine. She has all like everything needed. I just
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
think she's
she's
been doing it. She doesn't
23
look.
years old.
Pardon?
She's 23. I
Yeah,
mean, she better be green at 23.
well,
She's been wrestling
as
in
much as I
the
said
East
Jack
for a bit,
Perry is
though,
the charisma
for a
vacuum
young
in
20
ring, he's fantastic, and he's super young too.
I would say Sky Blue's for her age, she's doing pretty good. She's first as a jobber in AEW, then like a lot of these people, like they start as a jobber, losing every single match, and then to see how she's progressed in AEW is something
Yeah.
to see. And in that match, I was going for Taya because I followed her back since she was in Lucha Underground Impact. I'm just a big Taya Valkyrie fan. Both women needed a win in that match, but I'm glad Taya Valkyrie got the win. I'm really looking forward to Taya and Baker. That's never happened.
No.
They're both good on the mic, and as Dusty said, a lot of Britt Baker's best matches involve a story, like Thunder Rosa. I don't know. You can name a lot of other ones, but yeah, I think Sky Blue's been pretty good. I like Sky Blue, not just for her attractions, but
Not just for her assets, eh? Connor?
yeah, assets. I feel you contradicted yourself because you said how far she's gone from taking L's. I mean, she still hasn't stopped taking L's. She got a W in Chicago, and she's still L to the L to the L.
She got
Oh,
a good cell shot though.
But she's getting matches and she's on TV. So
Right.
if
And
you
know what?
even think of anything, the fact that she's on TV, that is growth. So I'll just play with that.
And she's getting over.
Yeah, the crowd likes her.
I keep up with the records. I'm like a big stat person with the AEW. She's 35 and 54, so not too bad.
35 and 54?
Yeah, but she's in really good.
Jesus, that's
Where'd
fucking
those 30 matches go? They didn't get TV.
Yeah,
Well,
I was
yeah.
gonna say that's a lot of freaking matches.
What was the
Yeah,
match
I'll
with
Ring
the,
of
a lot of
Honor with
darks.
Madison for a bit too, and she does a lot of their in and outs. So I agree. I like her. I think she's got some growth. I want to see Billy Starks in that company too. There's some youth there coming that could really build that division. So
Yeah.
Now, before we get to the main, I want to jump back to the 6-figure pyro for Ricky Starks.
He deserved
Oh my
it, man.
God. He deserved it.
It was beautiful. Overkill, but fucking
There was
hilarious.
a tweet or somebody said that they spent all of Cody's budget since he's been gone on that one night of pyro. I'm like, Jesus, I'm watching, and I'm a Ricky guy. I put him over on the cruise. Zach can say I got a chant that I've been trying to do for a while over in Hamilton. So it's like, I like Ricky. Ricky's talented as fuck. And
Always
he
been a fan
should
of Ricky since NWA.
be, yes. And when they got him, you and I both said, that's a talented man. He should be there.
Yep.
So then we go to Christian Cage and Ricky Starks versus CM Punk and Darby Allin. Matt, you want to jump in?
You know what? I didn't get to that one.
That's good. Let's go, Greasy.
Oh, can I start? I have some stuff I want to
Go
say
for
about
it.
Phil.
Yeah, jump in.
I'm gonna go on. This might be a tangent. I'll be honest. I'm kind of done with that guy. Phil Brooks, aka CM Punk, aka Captain Phil. I'm done with that guy. The guy, you know those posters, those indie posters where they post wrestlers who are doing cosplay as other wrestlers. How I feel when I watch CM Punk. He looks like he's having matches, tribute matches to his former self. The guy can't cut a promo anymore. He's going to the local sports team business. And I mean, Phil, if you're going to diss the local sports team, at least, like, if you're going to insult the Devils for being eliminated from the first place in playoff, the first round, maybe your team shouldn't have finished in last place if you're going to do that. Done with that guy. That guy's a problem. As the great American poet would say, it's me, I'm the problem, it's me. I'm done with Pepsi Phil. I do love Christian Cage.
All right. So by our next episode, we will over here in the Niagara region get that guy a proper mic because a lot of that did get blurred up. But all in all we got was a rant on CM Punk being CM Junk. I'm okay with it because I'm not a Punk guy. I will say he's talented in his times. He has his moments, but I really don't like when you complain about the things that you did the same. I don't know.
So here's the thing, though. Like, you can hate on Punk all you want, and some of you guys know how I feel about Punk. Has he been winning every single match he's been in on Collision?
Yes, he's booking them.
Has he been winning the matches, though?
No.
Come on, let's be honest.
No.
Exactly. So it's not so much the old CM Punk, it's my way or the fucking highway, because he is trying to help the other talent get over, and he's doing it at the expense of the name CM Punk. And let's face it, boys, like it or not, that name in professional wrestling, that still carries a hell of a lot of fucking weight. I don't care if you don't like him, you better respect him.
He got heated. That was a promo he just cut. No, I will say.
I know Zach was in there. Well, I'm a professional wrestling referee. I believe Zach said you wrestled the first night you were training. Was that the story in the chat? But CM Punk is a true. If you've watched his documentaries, a lot of his stuff, he's got that grind in him that he's worked since day one. I don't know how to say it. Just by being in the wrestling business, seeing someone like that. As Breezy says, CM Punk is CM Punk's a name that's going to create controversy, and controversy creates cash. And CM Punk hasn't. The one match he's won so far is the night he came back in first episode of Collision. But he hasn't taken the pins in a lot of the losses that he's taken.
Well, he also beat Joe, right?
He did beat Joe. I forgot about. Yeah, he did beat Joe.
Yeah. So I mean, I kind of get where Drummond's coming from. His promos since he's been back, I think since he's been in AEW, other than maybe the first two, have not been what they were previously. But in terms of how I feel about CM Punk, I still like him.
Oh,
It's not. I'm always gonna be, because there's gonna be guys that aren't my guys, but I'm never gonna deny watching good wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna act like any of his matches since he's come back to wrestling have made me say, "Oh, there's that guy. That's the guy I've been waiting for." I mean, minus his MJF match, but you gotta say, who carried who? I mean, MJF carries everybody. It feels like sometimes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
His match, it was Moxley and Punk versus FTR. That was one of the best tag team matches.
Yeah, but you can't say nothing if FTR is in the ring. Yeah, if FTR is in the ring, they're going to make anyone look like $1 million.
But it's also a tag. He's not in there for 25 minutes by himself, right?
Yeah.
So I mean,
CM Punk has ever since I feel like he's been he's put on some of the best storytelling.
Okay, stories. Yeah. No, that's
stories.
fair.
Yeah,
I do like stories.
Which I still think he can go in the ring. He hasn't really shown any signs of weakness in the ring, or as someone who's been in the ring and someone who has been in that stuff, he looks like he can go another 20 years.
His only issue is when he jumps into the crowd.
Yep.
Which he hasn't done that.
Or when he tries to steal someone else's finisher.
He won't ever do that again. I think he learned his lesson.
No, I know.
Which I see a lot of people complain about the team stuff, but he's always done that. He's a big hockey guy. He's always done this. This is not like the first time he's ever done this. Like trash someone's team. This is like old news. Like he's done this all the time.
I just want to point out that the American brought up hockey first in front of all Canadians.
Yeah. Yeah. I was totally trashing everything Chicago in Hamilton. I was going in on every player on that Blackhawks roster. They don't deserve Bedard. Bedard's a bum. And I was chirping. I just couldn't stop. I hate the idea of Chicago, the city. It wasn't really on Punk. It just happens to be. I don't like that they got that first overall, so I'll always be sour. And then I said, I hate Chicago deep dish, and then I felt really dumb for saying that because I love Chicago deep dish. It's delicious.
I
I
love
I
Doug, man. I think
think
it's special.
I find that and I talked with Dusty about this. So like every week except for I think the last week, the main events are like a half an hour long.
Yeah.
And
I like
they're
how
getting
they-
like all this time. And like once in a while, like okay, I understand why. I didn't think this match needed a half an hour. I didn't, to be honest, I didn't get it. I don't get why we cheered Ricky 2 weeks ago, but now he's a heel all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Like he hasn't done an official turn, but he's cheating to win. Like I don't get that. I didn't get I get Darby won the Battle Royal, so he's kind of feuding with Christian and Luchasaurus, and I get that part. I didn't get why any of them interrupted the Punk and Ricky Starks thing. I didn't get how Ricky Starks ended up in this tag match, and why, if I'm Ricky Starks, why even want to be in this tag match?
It's the main
that's
event.
He's not-
I'm really confused.
It's the main event.
Yeah,
and
but
it
he was
doesn't
already
matter,
in the main
but
event.
There should be a reason for it, and that last thing he said actually is probably the most important. As Ricky's character, why would he want to be in that match? He doesn't have anything to Christian. I didn't even think about that point.
Wasn't it to prove that he can beat Punk or pin Punk without using the tights or quote unquote cheating, which he did anyway? But wasn't that supposed to be the reason
But he
for
didn't
that?
pin Punk. He pinned Darby with his
Yeah.
with his hand on the ropes.
Yeah.
The first match, when he pinned Punk, he had him by the tights.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. But you're right. The
Yeah,
whole
so
promo was
verbally,
about
when they're
Punk
talking about
saying-
it ahead of time, that's what I think his
Right.
motivation was. All it didn't happen in the match, it didn't play out, but I think that's what the quote unquote motivation was supposed to be. And to your point about his turn, I think it might be him laying on the bad guy attitude too thick too soon, because pulling the Owen Hart Trophy away from Liger was a nice little subtle. What did he do that for? Kind of thing.
That was the irritating.
Right, I
As he
agree.
started doing that more and more, as opposed to coming personally with more of a heel aggression on the mic.
But
He
why?
toned down a bit. That might be a slower
I'm
turn.
looking. Right, I agree with you, but I'm looking for the why.
And they're
there's
not
no
telling
why to
us
it.
on commentary. There was no mention
We were
of
just
him
cheering for
even
him.
going to Liger. Why was Liger
He was-
not built? And then
he was just
snubs
he was just with Punk.
Yeah.
They
They were
didn't
holding
tease any
hands.
bad blood. Like I'm not saying that the heel turn can't happen and it shouldn't happen. I'm saying it like it's there, but it's not there, and you're not giving me a reason as to why it's there.
Yet.
We
Like the
want
fan-
it
like the
to
fans
make
didn't turn
sense,
on him.
But if you want things to make sense, I think you're watching the wrong promotion, bro.
I mean, true.
Yep.
Running with that, we close
You know our
up
rules.
on
You know our,
Collision.
you know our rules, Zach. You don't click. Don't question TK. Never question TK.
That's right. You'll just hurt yourself. When you get to
Yeah.
all of three of those show, I think we did a great week of AEW. I think the numbers spoke for themselves. I'm not going to quote them. I don't want to run that clock. So I'm going to just run on to the other promotions really quick. We're not going to go in a full review on WWE. Obviously, there's not a person in this room that doesn't love what's going on with the Bloodline. I think that's obvious. It's such a simple, easy play. I don't watch Raw, or SmackDown, but I'll catch it on TikTok and just run through all their segments alone. Cody, I need to watch, so I'll get his done. Is there anything LA Knight's got a good pull? What is the big thing off this week that really got people talking outside of those?
Oh, the was it the tribal warfare
Yeah.
Tribal combat.
and
Yep.
I like the way they. I thought that the best part of kind of showing the tradition part is when they embraced and did that foreheads to each other and held hands like that. Is like I was like, okay, this is, they actually came together. That's the traditional thing, right? So I thought that was really cool. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. This is like an anything goes match, right? That's the whole point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they're not allowing Solo to sucker
Yeah, I
Jay
was
as
gonna
well.
say that.
It shows how much how Roman is taking that seriously, the whole tribal combat thing, almost more than the title, because the title was on the table for the contract signing, and Jay didn't really give a shit about the belt. It wasn't until Roman took the necklace off and put it on top of the belt that you're like, oh, okay, that's what Jay really wants.
Nice to see imagery.
Yeah, personally, I wonder if they're actually going to do anything with the tribal elders. If they're actually going to be on TV, if it's going to be Rikishi and maybe a couple of the others, because they're always mentioned. This whole thing started with the tribal elders sending Solo to watch Roman in the first place.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like they're like tied into it enough. But to be honest, I really don't even watch WWE or anything else anymore.
But just like you said, if Afa and Sika show up with Rikishi in the middle, they don't have to walk out to the ring. Let's not put the pressure on them. Let's just have them there. Rikishi comes to the middle of them, cuts his promo.
Yeah, I said that to you too.
Yeah, exactly. That's
you and I
what
talked about that. I you can get heat on Rikishi. He can still get in the ring and he can still take a bump or two.
Yeah.
You can get heat. You can definitely get heat on Rikishi.
Oh yeah. We'll cut on WWE. We'll run over to New Japan. I'm only paying attention. I'm going to pick and choose my matches once it's finished. There's been some bangers already. I mean, you got Eddie Kingston and Shingo. I watched that one. That's a hella banger. Must watch. I love to see them hit.
ELP's promo when his grandfather passed. That's what spoke to me so far in the G1. Did you guys all see that?
No.
And I like that because we literally were saying, what are they doing with ELP now that he's not Bullet Club? He looks like he's just out of place. And that promo really moved a couple people. So I'm hoping that will keep him up there. He's another Canadian boy, so we're going to represent him.
Is that ELP's El Phantasmo, right?
Yes, sir.
I like to see him in Bullet Club Gold.
No, I mean,
I think it would fit perfectly because
they just picked him out of the Bullet Club though, right?
Yes, that would make perfect sense. If they were to do like a I don't know if they would do it like Forbidden Door 3 Bullet Club versus Bullet Club Gold, and it makes sense for El Phantasmo to go over there. I really like El Phantasmo. He's very unique. He had great chemistry with Sting. Out of all people, you wouldn't think he'd have chemistry with Sting, but that was really cool. I like El Phantasmo. He's
I got it.
I do too.
I got it.
He's one of the ones that really
That's
sticks
just
out.
6 guys.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta fix your headphones, bro. That might have been one of the most cleverest or dumbest things you've ever said, and we'll never know.
You want me to repeat it?
Yes.
I said he can join just 6 guys.
No, I like the 5. You get 6, I gotta use 2 hands. I'm not down for that. So we'll jump into the big one. We got Mississauga, we got Toronto, we got the Niagara boys. I'm going to say it right now. He's back. He's back. Josh is back. We've watched him come up from the bottom. I'm talking when he just got in the ring. We saw him at Neo in a singlet, didn't have the headphones on. We trashed him. To watch how he's developed to become this top guy. We started this thing where we wanted to talk about the best active Canadian, and I am hard-pressed to find somebody in ring and tells a story and has more heart and is actually a face his entire championship run without question, and the crowd feels him. Josh is back. What do you say, boys?
You know what? I've known Josh since his career started. We trained at the same school together. And this was well before he ever did Neo. His name wasn't even Josh Alexander back then. It was Jay Phoenix.
Hey, babe!
But yeah, no, he's a great guy, and he deserves everything that he's getting. Just like Ethan Page. I know Ethan Page too a little bit when he went to college here. But Josh, he deserves everything that he's getting. I'm glad he's back. I'm glad it didn't take that long, and he's not going to be gone for 8 to 9 months like that injury normally takes on a lot of people. I guess we could say he's the Impact version of John Cena in terms of healing.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
But But yeah, no, I'm excited he's back. I'm excited he's back, but I'm sad that Nick Aldis is leaving, because that was one match I really wanted to see.
I definitely rolled my eyes as soon as you said Nick Aldis, but then I thought about the idea of what they would do to each other in a ring, and I'm down for it.
Yeah. I wish he was staying a little bit longer, because that when Nick Aldis came in at Rebellion, I wanted him. I thought he was gonna win the title, and it was gonna be him and Josh at Bound for Glory, and I'm a little upset that we're not getting that match, because I think that would be a great match, and it would be something
agree.
different for Impact, because
I thought you would be
think
sad at Motor City losing the title and putting it back where it belongs.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
Well, it's got to go back to Josh. It's got to get off Motor City.
Does it?
I really
Yes.
don't.
Does it?
Yes.
I really don't think they should have
Why?
vacated it if he's going to be out this long. I feel like they could have
I
had
agree.
the Knockouts Championship.
I don't think they knew.
Probably
I
not.
agree with you, Connor. They should have had an interim, because
Probably
his run was so long with it.
not. Yeah.
But I mean,
They killed that whole thing.
Like Zach just said, that's a 9-month injury. That's a bad long time to go. How long has he been out, Urai?
Not long. It was like a week before
2 months.
the pay-per-view in Toronto.
Okay,
They
so
they
I don't
moved
know
yeah,
what
Kushida
he's doing.
into it.
Maybe
Yeah,
he's
he
just
was out
preparing
for what?
still.
2 months?
Yeah, 2.5,
Pardon?
if that.
Maybe they didn't know it was going to be a speedy recovery, because some injuries.
Yeah, and that's where I'm
Yeah.
saying they had to go forward with the story, and I think they were expecting the Rockets to hit off of Macklin,
That's why
and
we
I
need
mean the
time
Rockets
travel.
hit Macklin.
That's why we need time trial, because he had a really isn't he the longest reigning Impact World Champion of all time now?
Of all time.
Yes,
And
yeah,
forever,
he beat
anybody
Bobby
ever-
Roode, another legendary Canadian.
If you want to Wikipedia a damn wicked list, is just go through the Impact World Champion list, and that's not a small thing to hold. That's a big one. So we'll get off Impact there.
I don't. The thing is, if you put the belt on Josh right away again, the crowd might turn on. So
then give me heel Josh. Why not? Let's see it.
Because they don't have, I don't think they have anyone in that place to take that babyface role. There's a reason why at one point AJ was really the only top babyface. Once Joe came in and got over, they could turn AJ heel, and they did, because they had Joe. But they don't really have anyone else to really take that spot. And I think that's I'm surprised actually he's even world champion. He probably wouldn't have been world champion if Josh got injured. Because they don't have anybody else.
Yeah.
The
They have a
fans
lot of
want it.
heels.
The fans want it to be Moose, but Scott D'Amore for some reason doesn't, and he just keeps sticking them in these tag teams.
Hey, we don't
Right.
know what happens in the background. I trust D'Amore, Team Canada. Let's go. So
Right,
to
but-
wrap up
right,
on
but-
Impact,
Yeah.
we'll shut down as we're wrapping up here. Let's get to a quick segment I have called Merch Madness. Tank, you buy anything lately?
No, I'm not a merch guy, to be completely honest.
Oh, that's safe. It's safe. Teach me your way. Matt, I assume you're safe. Are you safe?
The last shirt I bought was the AEW Toronto one when they were here the first time.
Yeah.
Listen.
I recently got the Storm Driver Will Ospreay.
Oh,
That's sick.
nice.
That just came in today. I'm a big crate guy. We got Jungle Boy in, and then they just announced what's his name from Heels? Spades. Jack Spades. He's the next one coming, so I'll be spending money on that. Justin, any flea market finds? Anything good that you grabbed?
Does my photo with $1 million man count?
It does. That's merch. Loving it.
I don't think I've been. I think I bought a Bo Dallas figure last week too.
Yes. So you're saying you believe.
I've always believed.
All right, Zach, what have you bought? You're always spending.
The last thing I bought was we met $1 Million Man, so I bought a figure at a toy shop in the States, and I got that signed.
And this store was nuts. Why don't you plug it real quick?
Yeah, so I believe Drum, it was called the 80s Toy Store, right?
90s store, toy store, or something like that.
I think it was. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 80s. It was in Tonawanda. In terms of wrestling stuff, I wish I had more money. They had ECW figures still on card. They had the last set of original Hasbro's that I think were only available through mail. Still all on card. I really wanted the Scott Steiner, but I didn't want to look at the price.
Yeah.
They had the Heels and Faces figure line. I saw a couple of those. They had a Dino Bravo and a Matt Cardona. Even I saw a Shawn Michaels, like the very first set of Jax figures they did in '96. They had a Shawn Michaels still on card, and then all the new stuff. So that all your elites, all that stuff. The guys that were there, I don't know if they own it or they were just working. They were all wrestling fans. They were in AEW t-shirts, so we were talking about wrestling. And yeah, it was pretty awesome actually. We Drummond and myself and another buddy of ours, we go to the States pretty regularly, so I'm hoping that we can make that a stop here and there, because that was really awesome. I kind of want to maybe bring some more money next time and maybe buy a couple other figures.
Shout out
I
ESW.
believe if you look for it, I think Ethan Page and them did do a toy hunting vlog there. You could probably find online if you want to check it out.
So then, exactly like Breezy said, I'm going to slide it over another little bit of indie spotlight as we've got a couple minutes. Justin and Zach headed over to ESW, which was in Tonawanda, correct?
Batavia.
Batavia, another interesting name of the Americans. And then we all hit CWF as they had a double show. That's here in St. Catharines. It was definitely something else. They paced it well. There was a lot. It was an all-day event. Vern Vertigo, that's his new name. Von Vertigo came down from Destiny, which is a pretty big promotion up in Toronto, and they started a takeover. That's kind of neat. Azurai eats his microphone.
Yeah, what's going on there? That's bad.
I'm just happy we're not on cam to see what he's doing. All right, so boys, we wrap up here. One last thing. I jumped in on a podcast. It was Cody Diener's new podcast. I definitely want everybody to check it out. First guest was Josh Alexander. Wow, it was something else. You get to hear more about life. And I mean, the podcast called Wrestling is Life is Wrestling, which he breaks down the barriers of the conversation and tries to pull on the heartstrings as we use that a third time on the show. But other than that, I have nothing else to present as our first All Elite Zone AEZ completes. Connor.
Nice.
Yeah, this was something I've always wanted to do. As I mentioned on the our regular stuff, ever since I've done this podcast, my goal eventually was to do an expansion of this podcast. Number one country was Canada. There's a lot of history in Canada. Bret Hart, a lot of history in Canada of wrestling, even current. Impact, AEW's got a little bit, WWE's got a lot of the big names in wrestling are from Canada. Edge, Christian, the list can go on and on. But I'm super glad we got to do this first episode. I really hope you guys enjoyed it watching. You guys and the viewers watching. This is pre-recorded, but this will be a live chat when it's premiered on YouTube. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this. That's. I also wanted to do the merchandise thing you said. I'm a big. I spent a little bit too much money than I should. But here lately I got the All Elite crate. The AEW's monthly crate. I got this one really cool shirt, the Sting 4th of July shirt. There's the MJF shirt. If anyone, I'm assuming everyone watching viewership wise, that you guys know I'm a big CM Punk fan. So I bought the CMFTR. What's the other one? What's his dog's name? Larry. I bought that one. And then But yeah, that seems like all I bought. Well, if you count the other All Elite crate stuff, um, yeah, I buy a lot of CM Punk stuff since he's came back now. So yeah.
And then to end it, coo, 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 coo. Only the Canadians get it, bud. Let's go get it, Jimmy.